If you're not able to make it to the training hall as much as you'd like, or you don't have a table at home to practice on, then don't worry, you can still keep improving. Today I'm going to show you the techniques I used when I was trying to improve a lot when I didn't have access to a table. So the number one thing that I did was shadow practice. The more times you practice the right technique, even if it's just in the air, the more likely you are to use the right technique in a match or in training. And what I like to do in shadow practice is record myself doing the action and then compare it to the pros to see what I was doing. Sometimes I might find that my feet are too close together. Sometimes I might find that on my forehand topspin, on my backhand topspin, my racket is dropping a little bit lower than the person that I'm comparing it to, ideally a pro. One of the best things about this is that if you have space, you can also do footwork drills. And shadow practice is actually the best for footwork drills because you don't have the extra stress and pressure of trying to get the ball on the table as well. You can just focus on practicing your movement and moving as fast as possible. I've had a friend that's done it with ankle weights as well. You can just imagine how much that's going to help with the speed of your footwork, right? It can help with fitness too. You might like to do this instead of skipping, for example. This can be probably just as tiring, if not more. Anyways, for me, the next best way to improve off the table was to work on my fitness. Fitness can be a great advantage in table tennis. It's very important. You can get to balls faster, you can play for longer, you can have more powerful shots. And it's a shame because not enough players that are coming up focus on their physicality and how that might help their actual game. Obviously, if you train more, the more of an advantage you'll have. It's the same with everything. But it doesn't take a lot to make a difference. So if I had to give you a basic outline, I'd focus on 3 muscles. Table tennis focuses on these 3 as well. And they are legs, core, and your heart. Your heart is basically endurance, your cardio, how long you can play. Some table tennis specific leg exercises are wall sits. They're going to help with your endurance when you're trying to stay low for a long period of time. Some Bulgarian split squats will help a lot as well. They build up the power in your legs, which could make your shots faster. It's also important to focus on your core. You can start by doing some planks on your knees, on your toes. It doesn't really matter. Whatever level you're at is what you do. And I also like Russian twist a lot for table tennis. I feel like it really relates a lot because when you're playing your forehand, you're twisting this way and it takes a lot of energy from your core. So when you practice Russian twists, then it really helps the stability and power when you're playing your shots. And obviously there's endurance as well. Those are things like cycling, running, maybe even walking your dog. Depends on what level you're at. Endurance exercises could also mean other sports. So if you're into other sports, that's also going to condition your heart to perform better when you're playing table tennis. The best thing to focus on if you haven't really done these before is just to moderate yourself. Don't push yourself too hard. Work up and just try and train a little bit harder, maybe go a little bit further every time you work out. And my third tactic to keep improving off the table, and this brings back memories, is the table and wall tactic. So what you want to do is get a table and push it up against the wall, a flat wall, and then you basically just play against the wall. And sure, it's not as good as a practice partner as your real practice partner, and it's not going to get you the same sort of spin, because once you hit a top spin, it's going to give you backspin. But those things you can work around. Beggars aren't choosers, right? It still is a really great technique to just keep your rhythm, keep your touch on days where you're not at the venue. When you're playing against the wall, it's just going to reverse the spin that you give it. So I like to keep it a little bit flat and maybe just do some simple footwork drills. Obviously, it's going to be hard for you to make the wall give you the ball in the right position. So you have to try and keep it in the same position and just maybe do one backhand, one forehand. Practice your movement a little bit. It's not that bad to keep your rhythm and touch. You can do this for 15 to 30 minutes a night whenever you're not at the venue, and it's going to make a big difference. When I was 11 or 12, I used to do this for 15, 30 minutes every night pretty much, because I only went 1 or 2 nights a week. And then when I started to go to the venue more, I started needing it less, because honestly, the better you get, the less useful it gets, because you're just practicing basic hitting really. And the last tactic I would use if I was honestly really bored is racket and ball tricks. If you're really passionate, then you might not be bored while you're doing this, but what it does is really improve your hand-eye coordination, your touch, your feeling of the ball. And it's mainly just to get in the feeling of holding the racket, controlling the ball, and just feeling the ball, feeling how you're touching the ball, playing the ball, you know what I mean? It's great for table tennis specific motor skills. It's going to help you a little bit with your precision, your control. But yeah, if you're finding it hard to get to a table, then these are the things that I'd be doing if you want to keep improving. Anyways, I hope this video helped. Don't really have an outro. I'm not going to what should I say? Something cringy like, keep ping-ponging, man. Keep on ponging.